Wow. So, tell me, Daniela, what pisses you off? What? Yes, it's very important for your business. And then what breaks your heart? And what is the problem you want to solve in the world? Does it seem familiar? Yes. That was one of the conversations that Mike Kim and I had like 3 years ago. And then I paid for his mastermind because he said, I needed more friends. And here I am today, sharing with you about my journey and about my answer to these 3 questions. So let me see what pisses me off. 20 years ago, about 20 years ago, probably 22 years ago, I was a student in Bucharest. Now you have to consider I come from Romania. I was born and raised in communist Romania, very poor, not very happy, all those limiting beliefs. And here I am in Bucharest, in a room with 1,000 people, and everybody was like hugging each other and very happy. And the music was playing, and everybody was dancing, not like you guys. By the way, are you comfortable with hugging these days? Yeah. Who is comfortable? Oh, yes. So this will work. Let's stand up a little bit for me. So only who is comfortable with hugging, point another person comfortable with hugging, and just go and hug. Okay. Okay, now stop it, guys, because I only have 30 minutes, so yeah. So here's what happens. There is something called oxytocin that has been released right now in your brain, and you are happier, yes. Right? Yes. You're happier, you're more positive, and you feel like something like bonding, connection. This is how tribes are built. Okay, this is one of the things they do to build their tribes. And this is very important, actually. So I was in this room, and I was watching the other people hugging, and I was not comfortable with it. And I was like, when does it end? And then it got worse because 2 speakers went on stage, and I saw 1,000 people like this. And they were, very euphoric and very enthusiastic and hypnotized by those speakers. And I was like, these guys haven't done anything yet. Like, why are you so happy? And then that was the moment I understood there are people capable to literally hypnotize other people on stages. And they would do whatever those speakers would tell them to do, like buy everything, for instance. And they would go in the back of the room and they would literally buy everything. And they would do it with happiness and joy. And I was there thinking about a lot of things, maybe because I was a student in political sciences, and maybe because, I was raised during the communism. And I was like, there's something, I like this, but what if they don't tell the truth on the stage? Like, this is a very powerful tool what if these speakers don't tell the truth? And we know that can happen, right? We know big examples in history. So I was kind of pissed off. But at the same time, I was fascinated. And I said to myself, what if I learn to do this? What if more ethical people can learn this? Because I consider myself a pretty ethical human being. And I think you are too. So I believe more people should learn to speak, right? And that was the moment I understood that was pissing me off, but I had to struggle for 20 years and then meet my kin to, put this on paper and then start to create something around this. So today, I'm not going to sell anything. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. So I'm not selling anything. You can say yes to everything I say. Because I'm not selling. All good. So before I share my experience, I will share some of my experiences with you. But before that, let's do an exercise. Promise to say yes to everything I say. Okay. So let's raise our right hand. And let's do this. Follow me. Follow the instructions. I'm not selling anything. So let's do this. Everybody see what I'm doing? Okay. This, and this, and this. And everybody knows the move now? Everybody knows how to do it, right? This is how you do it. And then let's do the same with the left hand. The same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody knows how to do it. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. Okay. Now, let's do this. But follow the instructions. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? But you said you knew how to do this. This is how learning how to do this looks like. It's not perfect, right? I know how to do this. Look at me. But it's because I have been, what? Practicing it. So we come to this event and we learn a lot of things and we are like, we know how to do this. This is not the first time I hear this. But this is how learning how to do this looks like. It's like this at the beginning, right? Okay, so let me share about some of my experiences with you. I've been doing this business for 9 years now. And, from 0 to 7 figures. From 3 people in the room, this is my San Diego speech at Mike's event, okay? So this was when I was successful already. But I had this doesn't work, anyway. Okay. From 3 people in the room to 3,000, well, I was just presenting somebody. I was introducing a speaker. I was not the keynote speaker there, but I was there, right? From pizza maker in Italy to, speaking in Italian in Rome and having a business in Italian. And now in English, right? So I have been doing this. This is my point. I have built this business, this coaching, speaking business, to this point. And it has not always been like this. I remember my first year, I was struggling very much. I was working a lot for not so great results. I was basically adding client after client after client. So I was adding 1 new client, I was losing 2 old clients, something like that. And then, I kept thinking, how do I do this? Because I was following a system. I was, they say there are 3 ways to grow your business. Raise your prices. Good luck with that in Romania if you don't add more value. I don't know how is that here, but in Romania, it's only when you add more value. And, raise your prices, have more clients, and what was that? Put in more hours for dollars. And I was already exhausted. So I had to understand what was I doing wrong. And there were some things I was doing wrong, and there were other things I wasn't doing at all. So the first thing I was doing wrong is that I was throwing content to people. To whom? To everybody. Okay? So I was throwing amazing certified coach content to a lot of people. And they were just not hearing me. Is that familiar to anybody in the room? Yeah? So I remember I was in a room with some insurance guys, and I was just preaching leadership principles, amazing leadership principles, by the way. I had been certified with the John Maxwell team, and who knows John Maxwell? He's a great leadership expert. And I had been certified with his content, and here I am in this room preaching and preaching and preaching. Here's the leadership lead. And I was doing John Maxwell's gestures, and I was, remember how John does it with a chair, and he sits down, but he's John Maxwell, by the way. Okay, he can do that. And I was doing the same. I was sitting on a chair, and I was like, my name is Daniela Nica, and I'm your friend. And they were like, who are you? What do you mean? I was trying to imitate, and I was trying to just throw content to everybody I could meet, right? Look, I know some of you are Tony Robbins certified, or Les Brown certified, or John Maxwell certified. But if I go on the stage and I start, say, "I," this would be awkward. If I go on the stage and I start, I'm hungry, you have to be hungry, this is awkward. It's not me. I mean, the content can be amazing, and it is amazing. But let's start using the content in a different way. And this is what I did. And it's not the only thing I did, but this is one of the big things I started doing. I moved from content to client. Did you get it? From content to client. So when you have your content in mind, you don't touch the client's heart. When you have the client in mind, you will find a way to put your content together, to add your stories to the content, to put yourself in it, to create a system, some steps for your client. Okay? So this is the big shift that I did. And to answer to the second question of Mike, this is what breaks my heart. When I see talented people, look, better than me, okay? Better than me, I mean it. Talented people, big experts, and they keep adding content and keep buying content, and they keep just adding more content, more expertise, and it's fine. I love to study. Look, I have just finished my psychology degree. I am doing a master in neuroscience right now. I am studying all the time. This is my first strength. I study a lot. And still I am here on the stage to say, this is not okay. It's not okay to just study and believe if you do this, your business will grow. It won't. Okay? So a big differentiator for me was to understand this thing. client first, and not even ideal client, but what is the problem you want to solve for them? So what is one problem? I know you have a lot of expertise, I know that. I know you have a lot of methods and techniques. I know that. I don't give up on that until you don't help me solve a problem with it. So don't tell me about that. Tell me about the problem you solve for the people. And then create a system that's your system with your step-by-step process. And then add your stories. Have you done that in some way? Well, how have you done that? There is a process there. There are some steps there. Put together these steps. Share your story and then add relevant content to these steps. How does it sound? Is that logical? I mean, does it sound okay to you?
Yes.
So this is the big differentiator. And that wasn't enough. I had to, go out and understand what other people do. I had to understand what other people do today. And that's how I started to learn copywriting and email marketing and list building and tribe building. Okay? By the way, tribe building. Let me share with you this. It's not about the tribe you belong to. It's about the tribe you built. I mean, you can't be part of one tribe. But just understand this is their business being built. Fair enough?
Yes.
So, I believe this. Build your tribe to nurture your followers. They need to be nurtured. But build your network to build your business, to grow your business. So this is another big shift that I had to do to build my business. And I believe without these shifts, I wouldn't have built the business I have. So, and I want to make this point really clear. We all need to belong. This is a survival need. So I study neuroscience and evolutionist psychology and all this stuff. Tens of thousands of years ago, being excluded from a tribe meant what? Death. Right? How many of you know we don't live in the desert and we don't live tens of thousands of years ago? But our brain doesn't know. So we have this fear of being excluded, and we have this need to be included. And we have these pains and problems and these aspirations, but our clients too. So I just want to make these points clear. Yes, belong to a tribe, but build your tribe too to grow your business. And yes, belong to a tribe, but this is not how you build your business. You should belong to more communities, to networking communities, by the way. This is how I did after I met Mike Kim. So I met him 3 years ago. I joined his mastermind group, and let me share with you what happened after, and this will be the end of my time, I think. So what happened is I joined the mastermind group, and then we met in San Diego. We had that amazing event. And after that, we met again at the Social Media Marketing World 2 years ago, just before COVID hits, just during those times. And Mike was going to a Puerto Rico masterminds. And he said, you know, this is amazing. You should be there. It's $4,000, but you should be there. And I paid for this mastermind. And it didn't happen. It had to be canceled, and Mark Wade gave me a refund. But 2 months later, I get a text from Mark Wade, Mike's friend, and he invited me to a virtual summit, his virtual summit. And here I am, international speaker at a virtual summit. I treated that summit like I would treat my summit. I promoted it like crazy. And here I am, a Romanian girl, bringing 2,000 people to a summit. I was the #1 promoter to that summit. I didn't know about prizes and stuff like that. They would reward. I was just doing my thing. And everybody was like, what? Who is this? And my second, the big guy from Canada, he was the second after me, the second promoter, and he was like very intrigued, but curious. And he then texted me, and he was like, you have to come to my summit and speak to my summit. And this is how I spoke at probably 20 summits last year. And I grew my network, and I grew my list. And I started to create collaborations and associations with different people. And this is how I made 6-figure just in English last year. Look, I don't believe in that saying, if I can do it, you can do it. I don't believe that. I believe there is more to it. But I do believe in this case. I mean, I'm from Romania. I didn't have anything. You are here. You speak better than me. You could join this community, speak at these podcasts and summits, and just create a lead magnet and give it to people and grow your list and speak to your audience and build your tribe through hugging. Right? And then share value with them. Pick one problem you want to solve, and then think of how you have solved it for yourself, and what were the steps, and then put some stories, and then put some relevant content there, and here's your product. And then we have to create a irresistible offer. Yes, we can do it. Put a guarantee, because you now know how to solve a problem, a real problem for your people, and people will pay you for results. And you have a business, right? Does it sound doable to you? Yes? So I don't know if I have 2 more minutes or not. I'm waiting for, I do. So here's what I want to share with you about the problem and the pains that people have. Do you have pen and paper? Okay. Let's draw something. We will draw like a quadrant with 4 angles. I learned this from Paul Scheele, so I have to give credit to him. So a quadrant. Yeah, I will draw it with my legs. So I have a quadrant here, right? So here is your client. He's somewhere here. We don't know exactly where he is, but he's somewhere here. This is his present. At one angle, your client has the negatives in his present, okay? Everything that's negative, very negative. He's struggling with something, with more things. Then, at this other angle, they are positive in their present. So this is one of the big mistakes that marketers do, and we all do. We want to create an image that our clients are a mess. They are struggling and nothing works. And we have the paradise here in the future, the laptop lifestyle, and all these things. And now we are here, and we create this before and after. Look, you're struggling, you're a mess. Come with me, let's go here in paradise. And they're like, I'm not actually totally a mess. And I don't know if I should believe you. to go there. But this is paradise. Don't you believe in paradise? It's not that I don't believe in paradise. I'm not sure you are there, right? So now we have the negatives in the present, we have the positives in the present, and we have the future here. This is the positive future, the paradise. But everyone has some struggles, some anxieties, some fears in their future, right? So when you create your content, when you put together your stories, please, please, please understand, if you just promise, the promised land, you will leave money on the table. Let's put it like this. Because people don't believe us when we do this. And then let me share with you this. So let's say I'm the guru, and I'm like, come with me. This is your pain point. I will solve it for you. So let's say he's not here. He's like, but I'm good. I'm good. I want some more thing. I want a better life, but I'm not in that pain that you are talking about. My life is good enough. So sometimes the problem you solve is that you have to make them aware of the comfort zone, of the good life that they have, but they say is the enemy of a better life, or whatever they say. So please share stories about where you were good enough, but you wanted better. Share stories about when you were in pain and you didn't find any, way to and you needed a mentor and a coach and whatever. But also, if you have solved your problem already, don't just share this, because it doesn't work and it's not true. It's not true that I only live the happy life, and you see me traveling and all this, but sometimes I don't sleep at night because I have so many things to do, or I'm angry and I have people not happy around me, and a lot of struggles that I have, right? So share this thing too, because sometimes they don't want to go from here to there because they are afraid of this. I'm not okay, but I'm afraid of worse, right? Or I'm good enough, what if this happens, right? So it is important to touch all these points, not only the pain point and the problem and the struggle and the paradise. And then when we build our tribes, hugging is important. But also, let's understand the concept. It's called PERMA, P-E-R-M-A. It comes from the positive psychology, Martin Seligman. And this is the last sentence I would say. So people need positive emotions. This is the P, positive emotions. But not only fantastic, what are you doing? Fantastic. No! I want more peace. I want to be serene, and sometimes I want to be just alone, and I'm good. This is my positive emotion for today. Okay? That people need happiness, people need positive emotions, and then they need to feel engaged. They need to belong, they need to feel they are worthy, and they need to feel that what they do is important. Okay, engaged. Relationships is the third one. We need even an introvert like me. I'm very introvert. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I would rather stay in a room with a book, and I would be happy. But I do this because I love people as well. So relationships, even if we are very introvert, we need people around us, and we need good relationships. So make them feel good between them, connect them with each other. Mission, purpose. Let's build something together. People don't stay in tribes just because they feel better. with each other or with the guru. No, not for a long time. Let's build something. Let's create something. Let's create a process with a purpose. And then the A comes from achievement. They need to have results. They need to be able to measure their results. So this is how I do it. And the last thing this is the way I solve problems for people, and I help them put together all this. The problem you solve, the content you teach, the story you tell, the process you share, and the launch. Then we launch the business. The last launch we did for a client was a 60K launch. This happened last month in Romania. A 60K launch. K means dollars, $60,000, right? Okay, in dollars. So by doing this. Thank you very much for having me. Hopefully I shared some value for you.